pop that.
Alright, so let's check out my rare GTO, one of 550 left on the road, Midnight Blue 6 speeds. Minus all of the 16-year-olds that wrecked them because they were cheap in 2017 and earlier. So that leaves about 200 left on the street. Hey guys, my GTO is one of, isn't that what everybody says? Everybody that has an 04 to 06 GTO has always got to say, my car is one of in this color, in this combination. When the fact of the matter is, in the amount that they produce, the problem with GTOs is they produce so few of them between 2004 and 2006 that the rarity of each one, they're all going to be rare. What's rare about a GTO? A GTO from 04 to 06, a rare GTO is one with the fewest modifications or stock and the fewest amount of miles. Now if you're looking to buy a car for investment purposes, this might not be the car for you. In X amount of years, yeah, the value of these cars, I think that they will definitely go up. Will be the ones without rolled fenders. It'll be the ones with low miles. It's going to be the ones that aren't wrecked or that weren't in a wreck. If it's got a salvage title, any kind of theft recovery title, its value is, it's done. You know, the value of it, you know, if you want a GTO, buy one. But if you're buying it for investment purposes, you cannot buy a rebuilt title, anything. I don't care if there's 20,000 miles on it. Now the one we're sitting in here has 39,000 miles. I've driven it 6,000 miles. This car I bought for $16,000. I paid in 2014 with 33,000 miles, completely bone stock. I put in American Racing long tube headers as well as Borla exhaust, catback with 5-inch tips and pace setter catless mids, which the pace setter catless mids sucked. I had to order a couple sets of those just to get those to fit. Now, with that said, the car now has 39,000 miles. I've owned it and it's been stored more than it's been driven. Therefore, I am selling it. Now, as far as rarity, like I said, they're all rare. This is a 2005 Midnight Blue with 6-speed. That's what I wanted. Chrome wheels on it, which the chrome wheels make this 2005 GTO look, I think, the most classy out of what's available. I mean, there's yellow out there. There's another color that's really cool. What's unique about these cars and the combinations that they do come in, because they really weren't, you couldn't really option them out other than an SAP kit at the time, is the interior colors. It's just, there's a purple interior, there's red, there's blue, there's black with like different color stitching. And if you want a GTO, they're all rare in my opinion. Buy what you like. If you got to look for it, then do it. Overall, it's a great car. The T56 6-speed 2-piece drive shaft, it's unique. It's a smooth riding car for the horsepower that it has. This car, after a tune and exhaust, 1 3/4 primaries, and its ceramic coated American Racing headers, it put down like 388 horsepower and 390 torque at the wheels after those modifications. 400 at the crank without them, which is pretty respectable in a car like this, in this body. Now, they come with pretty skinny tires on it, and it's the 2-piece drive shaft. The suspension, the stock suspension on these cars basically suck. So if you're getting one of these cars, the only thing I would recommend is maybe an exhaust and some suspension work if you want to make it, you know, a good gear jamming car. This car, I just wanted to keep as close to stock as possible to keep the collectability up over time, because I knew I wasn't gonna be driving a lot, and I believe you know, the value, it has retained this value quite well over time. So by the time I upload this video, the car, like I said, will be sold. But let's take a walk around the car and I will show you what a 39,000 mile GTO, Midnight Blue GTO 6-speed looks like. Everything is basically stock except for the exhaust and tinted windows, so not much to look at here. It's got 17-inch chrome wheels, and like I said, it's relatively stock. Let's get to it. Enough of me rambling. Got the Borla exhaust. It says Borla right there on top of the exhaust, and it's 5-inch tip. A lot of people don't like how big they are. but it's big and gaudy and it looks tits, and I like it. It's got tinted windows, which also I think looks good on the Midnight Blue. The calipers, they're nothing special, but they are painted painted red. And the front calipers, okay, this is all stock. The front calipers come and they actually say GTO, which I always thought that was kind of cool. I know a lot of guys do, with these cars, they do 06 taillight conversions, which I think make it look like a Honda S2000. Because if you look at the S2000s, and I've worked at a Honda dealership, maybe that's why, but I just think it looks too ricey. And you know, I love Honda S2000s, don't get me wrong, I'm wearing a Honda hat right now, but I just think that the 06 taillights do not look good at all. 39,000 miles. I think the speed limit is 158 or something, but I've had it up to maybe about 140, 145, and it gets up there relatively easy. 6-speed is typical American stuff. It's smooth, it's luxury, it's nice for, you know, being stock and everything. It's got a nice smooth feel to it. The clutch is really easy to push in and out too. If you want to, like, once you start making power with these things, you know, the short shifter and the one-piece drive shaft and the aftermarket clutch and flywheel, that's all a no-brainer, because it's really easy to make power with these. And that's why you always see guys parting them out or working on them or doing this and doing that, and it's a car that's always getting modifications, it seems like. Button is right there on the dash, and it's crazy because if you're sitting in here and you're like looking for it, you can't really see it. So finally, when I figured out where that was, I made myself look like an idiot at the gas station for the first time trying to fill it up. No lock switch in the 05, really slow seat motors compared to the 06. I'm being sarcastic there. I guess that's a difference in the 06s, and I think there's some differences on some of these buttons, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But the traction control buttons there, window switches. But yeah, this is exactly how they come. Not much in here. The gray, every time I see these seats, it makes me think that they're dirty, you know, but it is what it is. I mean, it doesn't bother me that much. The seats are really, you know, the bolsters are really, deep. The back seats, I think they look awesome. You can't really see very well, but the back seats are awesome looking. I think the back seats are actually better looking than the front seats, but these seats are freaking, like, so comfortable though. I mean, it's like very comfortable. The stereo for stock, it's typical GM. I mean, it basically sucks. It's like buying a Subaru and freaking dealing with the stock stuff that comes with those. And when you buy a GTO and you want to know if it came with 18s or 17s, you gotta just check right here. You can see that this came with 17-inch wheels. This being stock, this honeycomb, a lot of the guys put in the grills and stuff, and I do think that that looks better, but this honeycomb is just, it's how it came, and that's why I didn't mess with it, because these fittings around these bumpers and stuff have been known to, once you start taking this stuff apart, it's typical GM stuff. So when you take the stuff apart, it's really a one-time thing. It'll never be back together the same way. Those are the ceramic 1 3/4 primary headers, long tubes. I got some sleeves that are supposed to go around this. I just never got around to putting them on because I haven't driven it. So, but yeah, other than that, I have ran only Mobil 1 synthetic in it. You know, this car is imported from Australia, so there are some differences. Another thing on GTOs, you always want to make sure that this is stainless steel back here. If this line is stock, if it's plastic, you want to change that out immediately, because these have been known to start fires. Well, the hood scoops, there is actually holes here. If anything, that causes wind resistance, in my opinion. I don't believe that it's anything beneficial to engine temps or anything. Definitely gonna miss this car overall, but it's time for a change. This thing, bang for the buck though, it's been a fun car. It really, I have no idea if I'll ever get one again, but look for a GTO. Like I said, they're all rare. This is a Midnight Blue 6-speed. I believe, you know, any GTO is cool and rare. The 04s I don't really care what people say about the 2004s. There's a lot of things I do like about a 2004. If I was looking for another GTO 04 to 06, I definitely wouldn't rule an 04 out just because it has less horsepower from the factory or anything like that. It all depends on what you're going for. And when I bought this, I was looking to buy a car, do the minimal modifications, and have a lot of fun with it while keeping it relatively stock to keep the value up and the miles low. And that's what I've done. I've kept it miles low. I wasn't sure, you know, what direction I was gonna go with it. You know, I've always thought about, you always think about, oh, well, I could boost it, I could do this, I could do that, you know, but, you know, heads, and should I build an all-motor car, whatever. But you know what? There's plenty of other cars out there to like play with, and this car, I don't want to take it to that level because I feel like the collectability is there, or the potential for these cars to be somewhat collectible is there. But and one more thing about those super rare SAP kits that you see for sale all over eBay for crazy, outrageous prices, $7,000. I think I've seen some for, like, to take a low mile car and put that on there would be pretty stupid unless you were able to prove that it was an original SAP car with the window sticker. Boys, proving that that was an SAP car as the desirability and collectability of the 04 and 06 GTOs, or 05 and 06 with SAP kits, as they go up in desirability and throughout the years, you're going to have some kind of paperwork to prove that it was an SAP car for it to have any value there. Other than that, you just got a bunch of parts that you paid way too much money for, and it might look really, really cool. And if you got disposable income, then who cares, I guess, right? If they're original parts, these original OEM like plastics, because they're making so many repops, you can repop stuff easily nowadays, you know, in this day and age. So since you can repop stuff easily, there's just really no use in buying OEM stuff unless you have a damn good reason for it. And by that I mean window sticker, you know, proof it was an SAP kit and you're going under a restoration or whatever, and you want to make this car original again, etc., etc. It's just a no-brainer. I mean, look at these cars in history. Back in the day, they made 100,000 body styles of the 69 or whatever GTO because the 10-piston GT37 and what else was it, the Le Mans, they were all basically the same car, same body. So it's just, when you go to a GTO like a 69 Judge or something, to prove that it's worth X amount, you have to prove that, you know, here's the invoice or the build sheet or some kind of paperwork to retain that value of that car. It's a no-brainer in any muscle car, any car that's collectible. Even when you get more into the higher end cars, if you have like the first whatever off the line, you know, sometimes that can be a desirable thing. Or maybe you have a Mach 1 or a 03, 04 Terminator Cobra with a clean title, low miles. Those cars it's obvious that those cars will be desirable one day because it was a limited run. And if you have paperwork to back these things up, that's what you must have to prove that it is what it is and to retain the value. I'm just throwing that out there, guys. It's your choice. Take it with a grain of salt. Comment and subscribe for more.